we are stuck on a hill. We took the wrong way, and it's not quite our fault, but we've got help here, so we should be good, hopefully.
Welcome to Rainabania?
And we battle Burrs with doggy boots.
Plus, our happy detours lead us to unintentional anchorages not once, not twice, but 3 times.
We tried to stare down the blue eye.
Traveling in Albania, as we found out in the winter, is not for everyone, but the kindness of the people here may be unmatched. 2 empty nesters and 1 brave dog. We're Casey, Rodney, and Salsa. Currently, we're traveling through Europe, navigating the Schengen Shuffle in our motorhome, Holland. We are sharing real travel life highs and the happy detours along the way. Please hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, make sure you bookmark our webpage, and follow us on Facebook at Empty Nest Adventures TV. We are starting out at Lake Mursi.
Okay.
In Rainabania, or Albania as we call it.
Lots of rain.
Even though we waited long enough to do this part of the video that it hasn't rained in the last 3 days maybe?
2 days.
But that's probably the first 2 or 3 non-rainy days we've had since December.
Yes.
While we've been here. And so our first little battle that we had was we went to take a walk around Lake Mursi. Got not even 100 meters before he noticed that Salsa's paws were just covered in burrs.
Oh, they were so bad. They were up in her paws, and they weren't little itty bitty, but these were big, very spiky. One poked me in the finger, and I started to bleed. So it was bad.
Yeah. So our answer to that, because she has to walk to go to the bathroom, is
we put her boots on.
Yeah, we have boots on her. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about that and show video of that later, because it's very entertaining.
Yeah, it's very entertaining.
So we went on to the next place that we were going to camp at, which is actually at an olive mill, where they take olives and make it into olive oil.
Yep.
And in the description on Park for Night, it said to look for a green sliding door at the driveway, and if it's closed, just slide it open and come on in. Everything's fine. So we did that.
Yeah.
Wrong green door, wrong driveway.
We got stuck.
And we got stuck number 1. We were on this gravel driveway, and
there was a fence at the end. We're like this, and we keep trying to back up, and Holly
hit the pile of mulch.
Holly keeps sliding and sliding and sliding.
Yep. So fortunately, the camp host and his father came along after we'd called him on WhatsApp. They knew exactly where we were, said no problem, the neighbors are friendly. So we ended up undoing the fence and pulling up the fence posts so we could go forward. And then just happens that they had a backhoe front loader kind of thing.
Yep.
So he smoothed out the dirt path and moved some rocks around so we could get out of that area and then go right past where we were supposed to be again. So we made a happy little detour U-turn in the middle of the road. We finally got parked and settled in, and
of course, a very great, wonderful place.
Yes, and of course, what settles in right after us?
The rain.
So it rained for a few days, and one of the perks about camping here is you get a tour of the olive mill.
Yes.
Which we wanted to do, but we were, wanting the weather to be good because we didn't know how much of it was outside or anything like that.
No.
So
we didn't know anything about making olive oil.
Yep. So, but before we get to the making of olive oil, we had to take Salsa out so she could go to the bathroom and
Weren't sure where the burrs were.
And try to keep burrs out of her fur. So here's Salsa in doggy boots. Finally, it did clear out enough, and we got set up where we could do the mill tour.
Yes.
He didn't have any olives that he could really show us in action because the season was kind of short this year. They said
they've had really odd weather.
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah. didn't have as many olives as they used to.
Yeah.
But when they are running, they're running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And he talked about 16-hour shifts between he and his father and his uncle, and all hands on deck.
It was very impressive.
Yeah,
very impressive.
So, and I mean, I know nothing about how olive oil is made.
I know nothing either.
So, and I think we both thought, you just take the olives, you press them, and squeeze the oil out of them.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of like the second or third process, and they actually do it with a centrifuge to throw it out. And then the leaves are pulled out, and they are taken to be composted and used as fertilizer.
Yep.
And all the rest of it, like the pit and
the skin
and everything, is dried out.
They had a big pile of it. It was covered, but a big pile of it. It looked like a giant mulch pit or something, but it doesn't stink. There's no odor, and they can use it. They use every part of the olive. They don't waste anything. And they can press it into bricks for burning, like your fireplace, or they just shovel it right in there. He heats his house with it.
Yep.
He did the heat for the shop with it. And they don't even waste the water that they use to clean the olives. They recycle it. They put it through a filtration and reuse it.
Yeah. The thing that was really interesting was at the end, there was this barrel up on legs that had a tap on it, probably a 20-gallon barrel or something.
Like a steel container.
Because he says that's full of olive oil, and they just take a cup and drink it. And he gave me a cup to
He gave us both cups of olive oil to drink.
Yeah, I guess at some points they just drink olive oil. So,
but
in addition to all that, before we... Oh, go ahead.
They said each family usually has one.
Yeah.
And when you buy the olive oil, it comes in a plastic 2-liter bottle, and they just take it, or they'll buy a...
Well, we bought the small bottle.
Yeah, we bought the small, but they have bigger 5-liter and 10-liter bottles.
Yeah.
And they just dump it in there, and then they use the tap for it. They use it on everything, on salads and cooking and to drink.
Yep. So as we set the sun on our stay at the olive mill, we'll show you a few pictures of the sunsets that we had.
Beautiful sunsets.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful spot.
We got wonderful lemons.
Yes, and it's a great spot if you're wanting to go over into Greece.
Yes.
Because it's only about a kilometer away from the border. So if you want to stay there
very close
before you go over, and he's working on adding a hotel and a restaurant.
Yes.
So if you're not traveling by caravan, you
and
need to stop.
he speaks English very well.
Yes, yeah. We had some great conversations with him as well while we were doing there. So
he and his father were wonderful.
Yep, and keep him in mind. His name was John. You're going to hear that again in our next
You'll see
next
why
little
we think he's
segment.
not just wonderful, but he went above and beyond.
Yep.
To fantastic.
So we headed to our next stop, which is a surrounded by nature place,
which we like,
which we usually like. And this one wasn't bad. It was supposed to have a little sightseeing place for the aqueduct that was there.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was all that much to look at, but it was it's a feat of engineering, I guess. That
place
kind of
to stay.
That kind
nice
of thing. So kind of pretty much out in an open field, and just because we are terrible about taking pictures of our food, so here is a random picture of the spaghetti dinner that you made that night.
I made spaghetti that night, and
it's not been eaten yet.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So for the people who ask about food pictures, there you go.
Or what I cook.
Yes. Yeah.
We did a lot of spaghetti.
So the next morning, it did rain a little bit that night.
Yeah.
The next morning, we woke up surrounded by sheep.
Yes.
And it was a lot of them.
A lot of sheep.
Yeah, a lot of sheep.
A couple of goats, lots of sheep.
So, and then we tried to move, and Holly didn't go anywhere. We were stuck in the mud. Yes. And we really didn't know anybody to call, so we decided to call John back at the olive mill.
For just a recommendation to see what we should do. What
get
would
a tow
be
service
listed.
or something. Yeah. And he said, don't call the tow companies, they'll charge you too much.
Yeah, we don't speak Albanian, so calling a tow company, it would be better if he could call them for us.
Yeah.
But
so
no.
he decided first he was going to try to come out in his little Volkswagen hatchback and pull us out. And I told him, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to work. We're stuck.
So he said, well, let me go to the nearest town, which is Mesopotam, like Mesopotamia, but different pronunciation of it. And he found some guy. I don't think he knew him beforehand.
No, he said
because
he
came rolling in a Nissan pickup.
Yeah, mid-sized Nissan pickup
with big wheels on it. And when he rolled up, I noticed a 13,000-pound winch on the front of it.
That did the trick.
And so that pulled us right out of the mud, and we were able to get back on the little kind of gravel road and get up back out onto the paved street.
Yep.
And we had already got money out because we thought, John had to drive 45 minutes and find this guy,
paying
so
these
we were going
people for doing this.
That's typical what you do. You pay them for your time,
Yeah.
And John kept saying, "Don't ask me. I don't need anything."
He kept saying because he drove Holly and I was sitting in the passenger seat out of the way.
Yep.
And he kept telling me, "No, you guys are such nice people.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. It's my pleasure." And it's not really us that was the really nice people. He went so far above and beyond.
So I had money that I went to give to the guy that was in the truck, and he just pushed my hand away and grabbed my other hand to shake it and said, "We are good, no problem." So
that's the kind of thing we've gotten in Albania as far as people. They are so nice.
Yes, local heroes.
Yes, they will help whenever you can, whenever we are looking for something in the grocery store and we've got our phones on Google Translate, and they are so eager to help. It is really a nice place.
So we left there and we were headed for kind of a tourist spot in Albania that's called the Blue Eye.
Yeah.
I guess it's Syri e Kaltër, which is a spring with no bottom.
Yep.
And so this is a hot spring that's under the water, and divers, and they've tried to send cameras down to find the bottom of it, and they can't find the bottom of it. So they don't know how deep it is. But the good thing for us is that the parking lot was on solid ground. So we pulled in and we parked there, and I think there was one or two other campers that were there when we pulled in. We were immediately greeted by the security team there. They have 8 legs, 2 of them. It was a male and a female dog.
Yes, a very bonded pair.
Yes, we'll find out that they were very bonded in a few minutes, but they would bark, and I think they were relaying messages to Salsa, who would also bark and let them know that she heard the warning.
They got along great with Salsa. They didn't really bet.
They were very docile dogs. Yes, and so with that, we also got wind and rain.
Oh my gosh!
Because it's Rainabania.
We stayed there for how many days?
It was 3 or 4 days. Waiting out the rain. Yeah,
we were waiting out the rain just so we could go see the Blue Eye.
Yeah.
And man, we were rocking and rolling one night.
And the first night we were there, the wind was really kicking up, and we were rolling back and forth. And you heard something about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning?
There were 2 other campers there. They were a little older than ours, and they were parked. It's a giant parking lot, and they were parked on either side of us. And I have insomnia, didn't sleep real well, and I heard a big thump, and I thought, oh my gosh, what was that? And I woke him up. I said, did you hear that? And I said, maybe one of the other campers fell over, because we were rocking that bad that I thought, oh gosh, they might have gotten blown over. So you checked.
I checked. No, the campers were still upright and on their tires.
Yeah.
So that was a good sign. So we went back to bed. But then when I woke up the next morning and took Salsa for a walk and took some food out for the security to pay them, I noticed that there was a little shack when we pulled in that looks like it's a little ticket booth or something like that. And it had a couple paper signs on it that I wanted to read the next morning, but I couldn't read them because the shack was what blew over, and it was on the front of the shack where the papers were, so couldn't.
And it stayed that way for a couple of days.
Yeah, it was rainy and stuff. Nobody was coming out there to do anything to upright it or fix it or anything else. So actually, the day that they did it was the same day that we hiked up to the Blue Eye, because the weather was fairly
actually
clear.
It wasn't nice, but it was nice.
It was great weather for a hike.
Yes, it wasn't raining. It kind of sprinkled when we started heading back, but we can handle sprinkle. It's not a problem.
Yep. So we hiked up there. There's a nice paved path.
Yep.
Actually, it's kind of a road to get back there. And we were kind of amazed because there was, like little bar cafes and places where you could rent canoes and kayaks.
Remember what we said about bars?
Yes.
They say bar, but it's not
it's like a coffee
bar.
house.
It's a coffee shop.
And there was even like a restaurant hotel down at the very bottom of it where the Blue Eye actually is.
And it had really neat, like little casitas that you could stay at. It was
and the information area was down there, so we took some pictures of the information of the place that was down there, and had a nice little viewing platform. That we went on. It was amazing to me how much water was coming out of that thing. I mean, just
a lot.
Yeah, it was flowing. I mean, I know they got a lot of rain, but this water's coming from
they've gotten
down below
3 times the normal rain level that they get in for the winter. Now, think England and rain, and that's what they normally get. 3 times that. It has poured. There was a day that it poured for 24 hours, and I don't mean just rained on and off. This was pouring down
it's a pretty
rain
constant
for 24 hours.
Because they were even telling us that normally they get like a 3 or 4 day burst of rain, and that's 3 or 4 weeks, and then 3 or 4 days, and then 3 or 4 weeks. Well, it was the opposite this year.
This year they've had like 3 good days a month.
Yeah, maybe.
And we've been stuck here.
So when we got back from our hike, there was a couple there that was from the Netherlands.
Yes.
That they spoke English, and we talked to them for a little bit. They asked about how we have a German camper van and a Dutch motorcycle, and we speak English.
That always confuses people because the van's registered in Germany, so everybody looks and assumes we're from Germany. Then they see the Netherlands on the bike, the plate from the Netherlands, and they think, oh, well, how does that work? And then they talk to us and they hear us speaking English. So.
Yeah. So we confuse people quite a bit. So
quite a bit. It makes them talk to us.
So we talked to them a little bit that night, and then we talked a little bit to them in the next morning. We were both heading toward Gjirokastër, but they were going to a different place than we were. But we had a nice little drive kind of coming down, and Gjirokastër's kind of in a valley. So we had a nice little drive going down through the valley. Not a lot of traffic.
No.
And at first we were going to stay at this campground that is near a river, which we should have thought twice about that.
Hang on. I have to give credit to my husband. After we've been stuck, and I had told him, absolutely no more, I want on solid ground. We're not doing any more aggro things, nothing in the grass. It's too much rain. So he started contacting the campground beforehand to make sure that they had solid ground.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I was promised it was solid ground, and there was a nice place for Salsa to play ball. So we got up there, we pulled in, and it was a gravel lot, which some of the gravel lots are pretty firm.
Yeah.
They're not bad, but underneath this was just sand.
Oh my God.
And we just sunk in. I mean, we weren't even moving.
Yeah.
And we were sinking into it, and the reason we found that out was
to get out of there quickly. We tried to pull in, we were starting to sink, we tried to back up and pull out. And, it was
because there was a shovel there I was trying to use to dig us out, to try to get out, dig a couple trenches out. And so finally we contacted the host there, and they brought 5 or 6 people with them.
At first it was just an older gentleman and an older woman and their granddaughter who spoke English. And we were all trying to dig, and then 2 other guys showed up, younger guys, and I got out, and we were all pushing it, and he's in there backing it up. We'd get it backed up a little bit, and then we finally
we got free. And they still wanted us to stay there, and said something about staying out on the road in front of it, and it's like, no, we're not going to do that. So
and thank God we didn't.
We found another place down the road, and it's kind of that happy detour thing again that leads us to a much better place.
This place was wonderful.
Called Camping RV Aura. And we actually parked in the parking lot of the restaurant that was there, which is set up for camping. They had an area in the back that was all gravel, nice grass area in the middle for tents or playing or whatever.
You couldn't park back there.
But they didn't want us to go back there because that was too soft, and they were already working on trying to make it get ready for the season. And that was another one where the host was very friendly, spoke great English.
And we had wonderful washers. They had great showers.
Yep.
It was really nice. And they had a restaurant.
Yes.
Mama didn't have to cook.
Well, we did do some cooking because we...
Well, we went to the restaurant the first night.
Yes.
First night.
And we have no pictures of it because we forget to take pictures of food.
And we ate it.
Yes. So, yeah.
The
French fries and tzatziki sauce that they had was just off the
homemade
hook.
tzatziki sauce. That's not what you buy in the U.S. at all.
No.
Oh my gosh.
It was so good that we had something a couple nights later and just ordered it.
Yep.
And they bring it out to camp. Now it's not long distance, wasn't very far out, but
they deliver it.
yeah,
to
they
your
deliver
camper.
it to us, and then we take the dishes back in the
morning, and they give
next
you
morning.
fresh bread and
Yep.
the French fries and the tzatziki. Oh, yummy!
I had a
tzatziki.
place right across the street that I was able to get our little gas bottle refilled, so we got
Always
that.
helpful.
We got that filled, and of course it rained.
Yeah, it rained a lot.
So we waited out the rain because there were a couple things we wanted to see in town,
Yes.
and the host there, he was very proud of the town.
Yes,
Thought it was a great town. So and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But so the first time we got out, we hiked down to basically kind of the main street in
like
town.
the Old Town kind of thing.
So because the first thing you come across is all the banks
Yes.
clustered together. So we got some money from there, and then we went to a pharmacy.
Yes, I had some prescriptions I needed to get refilled.
Yep.
And then we had been told in Italy, the dog's Simparico, her medicine for heartworm and all that other stuff, that in Italy you had to get it from the pharmacies. So while I was there getting some of my medicine, I asked about it, and they said, no, you have to go to the veterinary pharmacy.
Yes.
And they told us where that was.
Yep. And so we went. That was at the end of our trip.
That was at the end.
Because in between there, I got a haircut. Maybe you noticed that. So the guy that cut my hair, I mean, the way he acted was like a NASA engineer or something with the precision of his cutting and everything. And it was, we couldn't really talk to him because he didn't speak a lot of English, so it wasn't like your typical barbershop kind of a experience. We stopped at a photo place and got a photo printed.
I finally got the print of my son.
Yep.
My son and his partner.
Yep. And right next door to the haircut place was a pastry shop. So we went in there.
Lord, was it good?
Oh, it was very good. So yeah.
We got cookies, we got donuts, we got
croissants,
chocolate-filled croissants, and we both got 2 scoops of gelato.
For the road.
Yeah.
So
for the road.
and that was what, like $8
$8
for all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, just incredible. So and then we hit the grocery store, and then the veterinary pharmacy, and then we came back.
So we had some detailed things that we had to take care of.
Yep,
so.
just kind of, but it was a fun little trip. We enjoyed it. It was nice walking around and didn't have any problems. So the next day the weather was supposed to be even better.
Yes.
So we took a taxi and we went up to the Old Town part.
Yes, and Camp Ora, they arranged for the taxi and arranged for him to come back and pick us up. So it worked out fantastic.
Yep. And of course, we immediately find ourselves with 4 options to take paths down, and we take the wrong one.
Yeah.
Another happy detour.
Well, we kind of went one direction and there wasn't much there, so we turned around and came back.
Came back the other way. So, and it's a good thing we went that way because you found a shop.
I found a shop. I like some older things. They had some of the grain mixers. I forget what they're called.
Pestle and something like that. Yeah.
Pestle thing, but they were too heavy
Pestle.
to put in a suitcase and take home. So I ended up finding an old key, like an old door key, and I thought it was really cool. So I got it.
About that. So.
Small, it'll fit in a suitcase.
Yep. So we were making our way up to the castle.
Yep.
But before we got there, we had heard about this that was up there. There are World War II tunnels up there that actually go like underneath the castle. I guess so they could take shortcuts back and forth when that conflict was going on. And so we walked through one of them.
Yes.
came out on the other side of the castle.
It was a little creepy at first, but I mean, fun creepy kind of thing.
Yep. So then we made our way up to the castle.
Yep.
And the people back in the day had to be fit.
Yeah.
That's some tough climb. I mean, we took a taxi most of the way up there, and then still had to climb.
It was a hike.
Yep.
It was definitely a hike.
So we entered into the castle area, and like the first thing you see is like this hall of big guns,
Cannons.
like artillery cannons
Big
and stuff.
cannons.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Yeah, very cool to walk down through that.
And the castle was in really good shape,
Yes.
and it was just really neat. You got the full castle experience of what it was like. It wasn't just ruins.
Yeah, and there was a little tank in there that we looked at, and like a big statue of a soldier in there. And then we walked out to another area that overlooked the city.
Yep.
And was probably an area of defensive posture or something at that point. But what was interesting in that courtyard was there is an airplane.
Yes.
And it's a
United States Air Force
fighter jet,
plane. A very old one.
Back in the end of 1957, a pilot strayed over Albanian airspace.
A training pilot.
But it was communist at the time. The communist official said it was a spy plane, but the U.S. never said that it was a spy plane or anything like that. So the pilot was released about a month later after he was captured, but they kept the plane. And they eventually, because the plane was forced down in Toronto, they moved the plane here for some reason. It's in a state of disrepair. Obviously, it's not an intact plane.
It's in rough shape
by any stretch.
They tore the guts out.
So there's a plane there. So yeah. So we walked around the grounds a little bit. They had a stage there where they do performance and stuff. It'd be a very cool place to
see a
watch
concert
a show
or something. It would be neat, yeah.
And the most notable feature is there's a clock tower.
Yep.
That you can walk to the base of, but you can see it from all over the city around there. Inside the castle, which is a museum itself, are a couple more museums.
Yes.
That we went into that kind of explains the culture of Albania, and had a museum just dedicated to weapons and guns and stuff. That was pretty impressive.
It was very
collection.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive. Just all these guns just laying out.
Yep. And another part of that was the prison.
The prison.
And that's why the castle's really kept in good shape, because the prison was used even during the communist times.
Up until like the 1960s.
Yeah.
For political opponents of the government, they would arrest them and take them to the castle and hold them prisoner there.
Yep. So we got our tour of the castle, and I thought it was pretty neat and impressive.
It was very impressive.
Very much worth the visit. So by the time we got done with all that and walked back down a little bit, it was getting toward dinner time.
We were hungry.
So we decided to stop at a place to get something to eat, and we actually had the pictures to prove it.
Woohoo!
And I think it was actually before we started eating, maybe.
Yes.
So there might be a bite or two out of it. So we just can't resist.
It was a very, very cool restaurant.
Yeah.
All done in the castle looking with those stone walls and that kind of stuff.
Yep. So our priority is to eat, not to take pictures. So
right.
Apparently, but since we were the only people in there, benefit of the off season again. The owner started talking to us, and he had a sister or something that lives in New Jersey.
His sister lived in New Jersey.
Yeah. So just another unusual connection like that. So we returned back to Camp Ora.
Yes.
Actually, they came and picked us up and brought us back to the camp, and that's pretty much our last night there.
Yep.
So we were getting ready to take off, and we're taking off with a vow to stay on solid ground.
Solid ground.
Yes. And that will be on our next.
It's still raining.
That will be on our next Empty Nest Adventure
TV.